Um, and I think this is just a good practice for everybody to kind of hear since you're all entrepreneurs. So typically from a lead magnet perspective, this is what I usually use as my number one lead magnet inside of my business. So when I say lead magnet, to gather email addresses, connect with new business owners, is this is typically what I use is my group readings. I typically run Facebook ads to this, run it as a complimentary free group business reading. And then from this, people tend to come onto my email list. I connect with them, nurture them, and will go on to work with them. And I have done that for years and have just recently made the decision that, I tend to, um, I give a lot during a 2 hour group reading or an hour group reading or however long they tend to go, that I just don't know that I want to do that as a free lead magnet any longer. And so this was the very first time that I've ever in 10 years put an investment on it, even $19. I was like, I don't know that I want to give so much away for free anymore. In my 10 years of business, the majority of, I don't know, for those of you that know Marie Forleo, but her business model, and I've always admired her. I learned very early from her in my business. Her business model was to give away 90% in your business, to give freely 90% and then to charge for 10%. And I have modeled that in my entire business model, and it served me very well. I mean, I've done very well. Um, and I just recently was like, that this is one of those things that I think I just need to shift and change. I think you can probably all appreciate, sometimes when you start to give and give and give, there needs to be that energetic exchange, though, for the other person to be able to also receive what you're saying. And especially when you're giving advice, when you're giving wisdom, when you're giving coaching, when you're giving, intuitive guidance, whatever it is that you're giving, there has to be some type of exchange. And so I just want to say thank you to each of you, for that, because this was the first time that I've ever put, that type of investment on it. So anyway, um, so with that being said, um, let's dive in. Erin, I think I got you. I think, I think I got you made as co-host.
Yep.
Um, and let's go ahead and get in. Let's dive in. So if you've ever been to any of my groups, how these work, I'll put you kind of in the psychic hot seat, and I get to tap in. I get to tell you what I sense, what I see. So before I was a psychic, so I've been doing this for about 10 years, and before I was a psychic, um, I was in the financial services for about 10 years before that. So I like to blend both my business background as well as my gifts as a psychic and as a medium, to, really blend my love of sales and business and marketing. And so that's where, that's my passion, if you can't feel it already. And I'll blend those two things along with, now my 10 years of being in the online space, to see what the universe has to say for business. So probably just kind of go around here. I'll probably just kind of start calling on some people. We'll probably do it that way. If you want to raise your little digital hand, we can do it that way too. But otherwise, I'll just kind of start going around the circle here. So, Kirsten, let's hear it.
Ooh, I get to go first. I am I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. I have been a photographer for over 12 years, and it's hard as a business owner. The ADHD brain, like, it's all over the place, and So I've been trying really hard after a divorce and after trying to restart my life so I could pay off bills, and like I need to get my business going. And it's hard because I feel like I've had money blocks and I ramble about everything. So I'm sorry already. I don't know what to say, but it's just like I was really interested. I met you at a women's group meeting here in Burnsville that I photographed. And I was like, wow, a psychic for business owners. And I was just like, okay, like, I don't know. I'm curious because when I get focused on something, I will hyper focus on it. And I just kind of feel like I need direction on like which way should I go so that I can make this happen. Because pretty much even after I've restarted a business now after a divorce and nobody is seeing me. I have 6,000 friends on Facebook, but that gets you zero. Like friends and family are not our clients. We're too expensive. And I'm like, I get it. I realize my value now, but now it's like finding the clients or helping them find me, the clients that need me. And my business is changing into empowering women because whatever my trauma, my past relationship, all of that that's happened in my life, I am called to like opening up and sharing my story because so many other women have been in the same situations. And so moving forward, I was like, okay, I want to empower women. And so I'm kind of restarting with that branding of like, okay, I'm doing portraits for women. But I don't want to stop doing weddings because I really enjoy photographing weddings. They're a really long day, but it energizes me and I love being creative. But the ADHD side of me, I'll be in 20 different directions in 1 hour and get zero accomplished.
Well, I can definitely, okay, so a couple things. Number one, the ADHD in me identifies with the ADHD in you. So but I also think that that can be a creative superpower, to be honest, when you learn to harness it. I also have 3 boys that have ADHD, and I encourage them to see it as a gift versus a hindrance in their life. So,
Yeah.
it also depends on the language you use about yourself, right? It also depends on, what I say to I have a client right now who, one of the key things that we work on all the time when she comes to me, she'll start, and I adore her fiercely, but I say to her what I'm going to say to you right now. If you say so, if you say so, because she'll start with something and she'll be like, Amber, it's so hard, blah, blah, blah. Blah. And I'm like, if you say so. And that's for you and that's for everybody here, right? Because when you say it, it is. And so I'm going to encourage you to be so mindful of the language that you're using, the language you use about yourself, the language you use about your ADHD, the language you use about your business, the language you use about photography, the language. If you go back and you listen to everything you just said to me, it is the way that it is, Kirsten, because of how you're talking about it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So start telling a different story, right?
Yeah.
You're a great storyteller because, and I know that about you because you're a photographer. Photographers are the best storytellers on this planet. They just tell a
Yeah.
story with pictures. So start telling a story now with your words, the same way you can tell a story with pictures. Okay. So that's number one. If you don't have currently like a journaling practice, start journaling out the story you want your life to be. Journaling changed my life 10 years ago when I started it. And when I journal, and now like when I talk about journaling, I don't mean like today was so great because this, or like, I mean writing out the way that you want your life to be, period. Like the way that your life, the vision of your life, as if it's already happened. Like, I shouldn't even call it journaling. It's more of like an envisioning practice. Um, uh, if you read my journal, you would think it was like some delusional, like crazy person's diary. I mean, it's like not right. But if you would have read that 10 years ago, that my life now is what was in my journal 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So start telling a different life in a journal about what you want, the life that you want, the bank account you want, the partner you want, the business you want. And when you go to read that a few years from now, you will be like, holy shit, everything I wrote is now my life. So that's number one.
Oh,
Start telling the story about the life that you want. Start being mindful of the language that you're using. I think it's easy to get in the habit of wanting to tell people what's going on, right? And for the sake of this conversation here, absolutely. Like you're telling me so that I can support you, so that I can guide you, there's no shame in that. Absolutely. And I'm using this to give you direction of from here going forward. You don't have to tell anybody else what's going on. You're going to use this from here out to tell a different story. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the whole time you were talking, and I really want you to do some deeper reflecting on this. I know you said it at the end, but I don't believe you when you say you actually do want to do weddings. I really don't.
yeah.
I think you're trying to convince yourself of it. And I think you know that it pays the best, probably, at
Mhm.
least in your mind, it always has up until this point paid you the most. And I
Mhm.
think that's why you still think you should do weddings. But I think if you got to the core of it, the soul of it, you don't want to do weddings anymore. I think what you actually want to do is connect with more women. I think you want to do branding. I think you want to do probably empowerment coaching or like get to the like there's something in that space that's really calling to you.
Yes.
And and yes, photography, but I think even more so outside of the camera,
Mhm.
right?
Yes. Yes. All of that.
So here's the thing. The reason that you were drawn to me was because of that. It
Mhm.
had nothing to do with
Now tell me
photography.
that. Like
What?
my husband jokes with me because I don't listen to my husband. It's not until I hear it from my therapist that then it's like, oh, my therapist told me this. And he's like, how many times did I say that to you? And I'm almost like, I know, okay, I'm gonna start crying now. But like I hate that I know, but I need someone else to tell me.
We all do. Yeah. Yeah. We all do. So curiosities are always leading you to callings. And you've got to just trust that. And as hard as hard and as scary and as intimidating as as those curiosities can be, when you trust it, it's never going to lead you wrong. It's never going to steer you wrong.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's usually just one step at a time. You don't usually get the full big picture all at once. It's usually just one step at a time, which can feel even more frustrating, that you don't get the whole thing all at once. You have to take it one step at a time when you're following those curiosities, when you're honoring the calling, when you're following that inner knowing. But it's worth it in the long run.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Carmen, would you like to come forward?
What is the question, Amber?
You tell me what is the question. Well, it's good to see you. It's good to catch up. So why don't you tell me, yeah, why don't you tell me like how was 2024 and what would make 2025
Yeah.
your best year? And let's tap
Mm.
into what we could do to make that your best year.
All right. I wanna say with a sense of humor, I wanna make sure that I talk about the right thing. Um, so this year and last year was pretty busy in my business, coaching job seekers. And the pipeline has dried up quite a bit. And I've been seeing the writing on the wall that, you know, that I need to try something new, either a new marketing channel or yeah, try something new altogether. Earlier this year, um, I became very curious about learning more about menopause and
Hmm.
whether I could provide some services, coaching to women going through this, um, leveraging my own experience as well with these changes. And I don't know, within a few weeks, I'm not sure what happened there. Kind of like my interest waned. Um, and I like to, I like to have like a strong feeling, a strong passion for what I do.
Yes.
And so, I've been wondering what that is. Um, I also want to mention a bit that in my business, for example, I have delivered training about diversity, equity, inclusion topics, and I just had the light bulb that I feel like that's under attack now. I have I'm also interested in stuff related to sustainability. That I get the sense that um, the new political environment is kind of like wanting to, shh, you know, kind of like quiet that. And and
So you
so
have, okay.
yeah,
So
I'm
it
kind of
sounds
like,
like all of so so the image that the universe gives me as you're talking is I see this pond and I see you standing in front of this pond and it shows me you dipping like your toe in and taking it out, toe in, out, toe in, out. Um and all of these things. Um and then it takes me to you sitting at a writing desk writing. Do you write? Are you a writer? Do you ever write
yeah, I I mean, not books, but I write a lot of
blogs?
resumes, for example, some blogs.
What do you do from a visibility standpoint on LinkedIn?
I post a bit, but Amber, that's something also, coming up for me about marketing when you mentioned your own liking of marketing. I feel so exhausted by marketing.
Is it that you feel exhausted by marketing or you feel energetically depleted depleted because it's out of alignment what you want to talk about. There's a difference.
What I feel around it is it's more like, oof, I put so much energy out there when I do marketing. And similar to what you were saying at the beginning,
Mhm.
like, I want something back. Like, I need some energy back.
Right. So, so when you put all of the effort into, so I'll use an example. I just did 10 offers in 10 hours. I put together 10 sales pages that I put out over the course of 10 hours. Now, did I get a return on that investment over 10 hours that would make up what it took me to put together 10 offers and 10 sales pages and social media graphics? Absolutely not. However, here's what's important to hear about this. Those 10 offers and those 10 sales pages will carry me about 6 months, right? So what I want you to think about is the marketing that you're putting out shouldn't be just a hit it and quit it. It shouldn't just be a one and done, right? Is your marketing sustainable for you? And a lot of times what I see is people get these like great ideas and then they put it out. And then if it doesn't get them an instant return, and I have been guilty of this, if it doesn't get them an instant return, they drop it and they move on to the next thing instead of nurturing it, sticking with it, trying maybe, okay, well, I sent, one email about this. Maybe I need to try a different email headline. Maybe I need to try a different email body. Maybe I need to segment my email. Maybe I need to now do a resend to all of the people that didn't open the email. Maybe I need to send on a Thursday instead of a Friday, which is the worst day ever to send to email to my email. Maybe now I need to do 3 different social media posts with 3 different images. Maybe I need to go live and talk about this, right? Oftentimes what will happen, Karma, is people will put they will take one attempt and not get a return on that attempt and drop what was really probably a brilliant idea. People want a freaking instant Amazon return, right? Like Amazon has made us all Amazon, this is Amazon's fault. This is Amazon's fault. They give us like now they've made it even worse. Do you know I can get shit in my mailbox later today if I order it today? They used to make me wait 2 days. Now that shit's here today. They've made it even worse for us. We want everything immediately. Sometimes we don't give anything long enough. We really don't. What are you feeling from that? Am I triggering you? I hope so. Said with love.
Um, it you know, the word coming up is probably something something
I'll
that
take probably.
yeah,
It
something that
probably landed for somebody here.
yeah, something that I've been thinking recently has been, you know, I have decided several times in my life and career, it's like, oh, that's too much work. Let's build it from the ground up. It's too much work. And it's been, I mean, what felt like great ideas at the time, but I just decided, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. And I can appreciate that. In fact, I was just in a conversation just earlier this morning while I was doing my hair with a colleague of mine. And we were talking about in our 10 years of business together, what was the thing that worked for us the best? And just doing a recreation of that. It doesn't always have to be what is new, what is next, the next best thing, the next. Sometimes it can just be looking at what's already worked and refining it. It can just be reimagining what has already worked for you. So like when you were talking earlier and you were saying, so let's go back to like the very first thing that you were saying was I helped what was that? I helped people with the jobs,
Job seekers.
job seekers. And I could feel when you were saying, I feel like I can feel this industry, I can feel it shifting. I didn't feel like you need to make a complete exit out of that, right? Like that didn't feel, I feel like you've done this for a long time, right? Like you've been in that industry for a long time,
Mm.
right? Is that right?
Yeah,
Am I right on
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're meant to make a complete exit. It does feel like a pivot is on the horizon for you. It does feel like you're meant to be a leader in that industry though. But a pivot feels right. So going to that reimagine, let's go to reimagine. How do you pivot on what you already know? How do you reimagine what you've done? How do you take all of your wisdom, all that you've known? At one point, you were very passionate about this. At one point, you did have the energy for and a love for this. At one point, if that, how do we stir that back up?
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean that we ignore these curiosities that you have about menopause, DEI. It doesn't mean that you can't occasionally just show that side of you because that's who you are, right? That's where that radical authenticity that makes up you. It doesn't mean you don't get to talk about those things. That's who you are. But it doesn't mean you have to go build a business about it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's why when you kind of started to shift, you lost the energy for it because you're not meant to build everything about it. It's just a branch off of who you are. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah, yeah. Reimagine that. I felt the energy. Yeah,
Mhm.
that resonated.
And I don't think that this year, oh, what I'm hearing is people aren't going to be looking for new jobs this year. They're going to be looking to be promoted this year. They're going to be looking for higher compensation this year. They're going to be looking for new skill sets this year. What do you hear in that? How can you help people enhance their resumes, their bios, their personal brands within their companies? How
Mm.
can you make them stand out? Um, how can you
Yeah,
make them the obvious choice for how can you help them with their negotiation skills when it's time for their annual review?
yeah.
Create a
Mhm.
newsletter,
Mhm.
negotiate a negotiation newsletter that every employee wants to be on right now. I mean, that's what I mean by reimagine.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Maya, hello. And then hold on, I know there was, wait, I saw there was some chat. Katie, did you get, yes, Katie, I will get to you, girl. I'm coming your way. I will get to everyone. Just kind of going around. All right, Maya, let's do it. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. It helps when you turn your audio on, I found.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
So I think for me, the thing I'm trying to get clarity about is I feel like I'm kind of doing everything right now, wearing all the hats, just kind of going at almost full speed ahead most of the time, working with
What
it.
kind of business do you have?
What kind of business? Is that what you said? So I'm a psychic medium and I'm doing things locally and online. So
Okay.
that means I'm going out to events, sometimes private group readings, one-on-one. And then I have these desires of things that I'm wanting to do, and then I have plans for things that I am doing. So like right now I'm working on pulling together a class or a course that is just basically psychic development. So I'm working pretty hard on that, but I also have a desire to be on stage doing like mediumship readings, and I think they call them gallery readings. And I'm developing that skill. So I'm kind of, I've got to toe in with it. I'm doing it, and the more I do it, the more I love it, and the more it just feels right to me. But then and then also I have this, I'm a musician, a singer. So I've always wanted to do something with that. And, within the last, I'd say year or two, I've seen a way to pull, sound healing together with my psychic work, like the mediumship work that I do. And all of it, I think, points to me just wanting to be more seen, more particularly, I guess, on stage, and it's really like surprising that I can even say this, because probably a year ago I wouldn't have even admitted to this. It would have felt like sort of like a shameful thing to me to say, I want to be seen, I want to be on stage.
Yeah.
I was not saying that a year ago. So this is kind of like a little growth spurt for me. But it just feels like there's so many things on my plate, and just like, is it Kirsten? I think I'm definitely Miss ADHD right here. Totally neurodivergent, so I can just do this and this and this. So I think I'm just wanting to focus myself for 2025, and I guess if I need to keep working on all of these things just a little bit at a time, that's fine too. Or do I need to really just shave some things off and, put my focus in one direction? I feel good about all of it. Like it all feels pretty exciting to me, but the stage stuff, the music stuff is more exciting to me, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. So here's
That's
what
me.
I'm going to tell you to do. Here's I don't know where you live.
Vermont.
Vermont. Okay. So if I were you, I would find a local space that you can rent that would seat between 50 and 100 people. And I would rent it out. And I would sell tickets to a gallery reading at probably $40 a ticket, up to 100 tickets. And give yourself the proper amount of time to sell those tickets. The majority of the time, when people do not sell out an event, it's because they do not give themselves the amount of time and the amount of marketing that they need to sell out an event. So I would give yourself at least 2 months to do online marketing and to do in-person marketing. I would give yourself 2 months. I would run a Facebook ad to a local market marketing the event. And I would also then do, print up with a professional, like banner flyer and bring it to some places around with the intent of getting between 50 and 100 people in there.
That just sounds crazy to me. Like, I just feel like, who in the world is gonna come and see me? They don't even know me, but I'm
They
not
will. People love
pushing
it,
away what you're
especially
saying.
this time of
It's-
year. Especially this time of year, people are bored. Women get bored. Women love it. Okay, so that's number one. Now, here's the other thing that what I really want you to hear from this, okay, is by the time you pay for the room, the flyers, the Facebook ad, will you make money from it? Sure, maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But here's what you actually will do. Number one, everybody that buys a ticket will come onto your email list. Number two, you are going to sell private readings, 1 hour sessions at $250, $300 an hour. I don't know what you're charging now, but that's what you will start charging after an event like that.
Half that. Yeah, not even half that.
Yeah, you need to increase your price. Like, you've got to increase your price. So that's that. Then what happens from that is you sell private readings, you sell private group readings, you book your next group reading, you sell gift certificates. I mean, that now event turns into a $10,000, $15,000 event for you. And you just gave yourself the most incredible confidence booster you could have ever had. And that actually matters more than anything. You put yourself out there, you put yourself in a position where you are like, holy shit, I can actually do this. I can read a room. I can run a gallery. That is what matters more than any of it. You will be so excited to do another one. That is what matters.
Okay. I'm trembling as you speak, but I'm listening.
Ooh, that's a new one. I've given truth bumps, tears, and triggers. I've never given trembles before. We're going to add that T on there, sister. I love it. I'll take it. I'll take
Yep.
that T.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're
Appreciate-
welcome. Do it. I did one of these. I've done multiple of these. And there's nothing like it. The one that I did here was, oh my gosh, probably I had a choice about 5 years ago. Probably like, well, it was probably about 2 years before COVID. I feel like the universe gave me a choice. The universe was like, you can go this path, the like Teresa Caputo path, or you can go this like Marie Forleo business psychic path, right? And that's the path for me, right? Like I love business so damn much. I can't even, like, I'm sure you guys can feel, I hope you guys can feel it, right?
Yeah.
And right before I chose that path, I did this huge gallery reading. Aaron wasn't here, but I think Aaron remembers. I did this group gallery reading here and I did exactly. So I would never tell you to do something I haven't done myself, Maya. I rented out a room. I sold all the tickets, had banners, all of the things. And it was absolutely glorious. You get to change people's lives right in front of you. You know,
Yeah.
there was probably 60 people there. I mean, it's amazing, right? Like, I mean, I've done group gallery readings with over 100 people. I mean, the very first gallery reading, I'd only been doing psychic mediumship for like 3 months. 3 months.
My
Looking
God.
back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I like was brave enough to do. I did like, you know,
Wow.
actually beginners like being a beginner and just being so like, sure, I'll do it. Like having no idea what I was actually getting into was probably
Wow.
the best. The best
Yeah.
was actually probably just being naive is probably the best thing I could have done. But it was amazing. I mean, I was so I'm not telling you to do something I haven't already done. It'll enhance your gift. You'll be incredibly grateful you did it. You'll make money from it. but what it will do for your confidence, what it will do for your gift, your name, your visibility, it's worth it. Okay?
The other things, it kind of sounds like you're saying, not saying don't do them, but just put more of the focus into what you were just saying this year for the time being, like the gallery.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People love the in-person experience of
Yes.
mediumship. If mediumship is truly the gift that you're wanting to bring to the world, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand you're wanting to teach and teach courses, right? But guess what? When people experience you in your gift of mediumship, they're going to want to learn more about it. And so they will naturally sign up for your courses, right? So it all still stems from you being in your gift of mediumship.
That's what I'm feeling like. That
When
just
you are in your
resonates.
gift, people will follow, like the rest of it will follow. The rest of it will follow.
All right.
And that message is for you and for everybody here,
Thank you so much.
including myself. All right, Renee, hello.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm loving this camaraderie here. There's so much that I'm kind of taking away from. It's kind of a hard, it's a hard pull, I guess, to decide what I want to ask you about. I guess really, I think for me, I've created this beautiful Oracle card deck. We have this amazing center, so I can understand when you say like Maya, if she was in Vermont, I would bring her on stage and have her do the gallery readings. I definitely have mediumship gifts. I've had them since I was a very little girl. I don't want to say I'm all over the place because I am definitely feeling more in my own body, but in reference to doing projects and getting them done. But I really think for coming up for like 2025, I like this reimagining thing, Amber, where I'd like to try and focus on one thing that kind of expands. And so it could be the Inner Alchemy Oracle cards. But if I were to say what my business is and what I do, even though I feel like I'm not really doing it, is I feel like I'm a coach and teacher, heart-centered living, the heart center, like heart compass coaching, but I have no clients. I don't have a coaching program per se. I do a lot of one and dones. And then I wonder, why doesn't anybody call me again? So I love working with people on what their gifts are. And I have a place online, I believe, as well as locally to bring them in to share their gifts. So that's all I'm going to share for right now. And I'm going to let you kind of plug away and tune in.
Let me ask a different question.
Absolutely.
Because from the second you started talking, what I kept hearing was, what is your vision?
Yeah. My vision is to, it sounds silly, but I'm going to say it's almost like I want to create my own fairyland, my own Disneyland, and do that from a place of joy and creativity and bring people into a space where they feel it as well. Like they feel like the things that you were talking about, the reimagine, like I really resonated with the reimagine because of the whole Imagineer thing, but, helping people with their gifts. And I mean their spiritual gifts. I don't mean their 9-to-5 gifts in reference to going to work. I mean like as an entrepreneur, but more in a like what they're here to do, what lights them up, and I feel, I mean, I don't know, I'm just gonna pull a card and see, like the goddess. Okay, so like that was the card that I just pulled from my deck. And I'm definitely doing a lot more with like say priestesses and wanting to bring in more of those pieces with the women.
Okay. So let's no, that's funny. We must be channeling Dr. Seuss here. Let's riff on the gifts. Let's riff on the gifts. So if you want to help people tap into their own gifts, and you want to do that both online and in person, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience, like the online thing. Like this is something I would love to do what you're doing here, and I could very easily do it with whatever topic or theme, but I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
like
I'm gonna lovingly, I'm gonna call you up on this. We talked years ago, right? About creating a program and about starting an email list and doing all the things, right? And that I would help
Right.
you do all of that.
Right.
And at the time you just said, no, I think I'm gonna do it myself, or I'll do it. Like, so let me ask you, and that was a while ago. So
Mhm.
what is it that has kept you from starting the program, from being in the online marketing space, from doing that? What are the things that keep you from doing what you said you were gonna do? Where you're in a loop, you're in a pattern.
Yeah,
Recognize that? Do you see that you're not taking action?
I do. And I don't really know what that is. I mean, I don't want to say it's the albatross of I'm not, and it's funny I say that albatross because I don't want to say that, but like because we have this heart center.
Renee,
We have
I'm so sorry. Katie has to pop off. Can you sit for just a second and actually think about that question and let me go to her? And can I come back to you, or do you have to get
or
off
yeah,
too?
okay.
Let me just go to Katie just because she has to leave, and then I'll come back to you, Renee. I'm so,
Oh,
okay.
sorry, I didn't mean that.
No,
I was just
oh, no, no, no,
telling
no. I
everybody
would
that I'm
love,
leaving.
no,
Sorry.
I would love because Renee's gonna be here and you have to leave. I would love to be able to give you just a couple minutes. Yeah.
Sorry,
And
Renee,
Renee's,
I feel like I'm being rude here. So
no, 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 no,
the
no,
Canadian
no.
side of
Renee's
me is
gonna be
like, no,
here, and
no.
I would love for her to have a minute to kind of like sit with that for a minute, because I think and we're gonna be here for a little bit. So you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Sorry, guys.
So-
Sorry, yeah. I have a busy day. I wanted to hop on, but yeah, it's good to connect with all of you. And yeah, okay, so am I supposed to come up with a question? So I have a very specific question. I just developed this beautiful journal, and it's going to be a social enterprise that I'm creating in legacy of my son. And I think I just want to tap into okay, where do I focus the marketing on this? Because we're just about to launch everything. Yeah. I'm very proud of my work.
As you should be. Congratulations. It's like putting out any type of book, any type of product, and like cards. It takes a lot, especially when there's some type of emotional connection to it, especially when there's that type of bond to it. So I can feel that for you. The story needs to go with it. Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I have an okay following on TikTok from the story of the loss of my son, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't really
So
done anything on it because it like energetically TikTok stresses me out. Like when I go on there, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what happened to my algorithm, but I could nurture TikTok, and I was thinking about that the other day, that's something that I should do.
So what's coming to me is, so what you have to remember is you as a content creator and as a content consumer are two different things. Okay? Totally different things. Now, as a content creator, you telling the story that can go viral, that can get, that can get sales, that kind of thing. If I were you, can I see like it's like, is it a journal? Like does it have prompts? Like what does it?
Yeah, it's a 365 day intention journal, and then it has stickers, and it's like a Bible. It's really beautiful. And we do have cards, actually, two grief cards that we created, but we're gonna start with
Okay,
this.
so I'm gonna show you something. So, and I have a small following on TikTok, but like this company just sent me this. It's called the Daily Glimmers Journal. So I'm an affiliate on TikTok, right? And they sent me this and they were like, will you affiliate this for me for us, right?
Yeah.
And so now I agreed to it. So now what I have to do is I have to make 3 TikTok videos and put them on my page. And then I have an affiliate link for them and I have to like tag it, right?
Yeah.
So Katie, what you can do the same thing. like you can sign up as the affiliator, right? And
Yeah.
you can find influencers to then promote your journal.
Totally.
If I were you, I would do that all day long.
Except for I have a naturopathic practice that focuses on hormones, by the way, menopause and hormones.
But
So
do
I
it for
can't
your
do that all day
journal.
long. But
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no. I don't literally mean all day long. I
No,
mean
no, no.
like, I would get your journal in the hands of influencers.
That's
Then
what I'm
they
gonna
are
do.
doing it for you all day long.
Yes, yes. Okay, it's funny because that's what my niece and I, she's doing it with me. And she was with
Send
me
it
when
to
we
me. I'll do it for you.
Okay, yeah, it's so, seriously, I'm so proud of this. It's so beautiful. And
That's what it
everyone looks
should
at it, they're
be.
like, "Oh my God, Katie." I'm like, "I know.
Your
I'm
son's
very
proud of
proud."
you too.
Well, it's been 8 years in the making of a legacy project with him because I've been like trying this and this, and none of it has been really heart-centered. I'm like in alignment with where I'm supposed to go. And so I feel really, really clear that this is the work that I'm going to be doing, and heart math work with bereaved families and young adults. And I just feel like I'm in the right path, like on the right path for once. And this just like, I woke up and I just spent a lot of money on the production. So I woke up at
Yep.
5 this morning, woke up
exactly
at
what you
5
mean.
yesterday going, holy shit, I just spent thousands and thousands of dollars, excuse my language, on like 1,000 of these. And
I'm
yet,
gonna follow up with an email to you, and we can set like a separate call. I'll help you like how to like do some of like the TikTok side of things. Like I'm telling you,
I'll,
do the affiliate part. It will
yes,
go viral. I just have a feeling, and my feelings are
I do
never
too.
wrong.
Thank you so much, Amber. Yeah, and my TikTok is Rising with Katie, if you guys are interested. There's a lot, my stories on there about the loss of my son and my journey.
I don't know if you heard me, but he's proud of you too.
Oh, I did hear you, and I know he is. He's so with me. I feel, oh my God, I want to cry. I feel him, but I have a patient in 2 minutes, so I can't. But I am
Well, I'm
feeling
so glad that I got to connect with you for a few
me
minutes.
too.
I will follow up with an email and we'll connect again, Katie.
Thanks, you guys. Renee, thank you. Sorry about the like disruption. I'm sending lots of love.
I had to, Renee is gonna be fine. I had to connect with you. I
Thank
felt
you,
it.
guys. Mwah. Appreciate all of you.
Bye, Carmen. Okay, Renee, back to you. Sorry, I felt like I just needed to connect with her before she hopped off, and I'm glad I
Well, I
did.
think I kind of needed to hear her as well, because that's kind of, like I said, that's one of the things, I'm very proud of the Inner Alchemy Oracle cards, and they came from menopause. I was
Oh,
going to do
interesting.
something. Yeah, I was going to do something totally different, and they came through a whole, like, because of menopause. And it was like, it was a really different type of energy compared to what I was normally going to do. I really think though, Amber, like I guess I don't really have a plan. And I also think that my wording needs to be a little different, because I do have a small following. I just don't have like a consistency. I don't have a plan in place. And I almost feel like a different question or something to kind of go a little bit deeper with that, because I can get emails out there. I have my Facebook page. I have an Oracle card school now to be able, like, 15-minute tutorials. So it's sort of like, it almost needs to all kind of come together and be offered as a package deal, and do it, like I said, do it online. I have a large following. They're not seeing what I have. I don't have a consistency to it, I guess.
Do you have an email list?
I do. Yep. And I've been trying to figure out, yes, I do have an email list, and I've been trying to figure out what's the best email, the way to work the email so that it really works. Yeah.
Do you email them Do you email consistently?
No. And I can write like crazy, but I don't have something, like I don't have a actual email program, I guess you could say, or a system in place where I'm doing that. It almost feels like I need some kind of a formula or something, or I don't know. It's kind of.
What do you use? Do you use like MailChimp?
No, I don't use any of those. Right now I'm using Thunderbird, and we have something called a PHP list, and it's a really large, like, because we have our own separate server. But it's incredibly clunky and very hard. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
need simple.
Yeah, so yeah, I was saying so I meant so I think some of it sounds like getting so like when I connect into like from a business chakra perspective, right? Your business, the root chakra of your business is very out of alignment. The systems, it needs grounding, it needs structure to it, it needs that part first, Renee, right? Like, so I would say getting a really good, solid foundational emails, like a CRM system, like whether it be MailChimp, MailerLite, GetResponse, something like that, where you can have a centralized way of communicating with your customers. That
Yeah, I
is
agree.
just that, I mean, that's just kind of business 101, right? I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
just starting with something simple like that, just do step one, and instead of like thinking you have to do all the things, just start with step one. Just start communicating with your customers, put them all onto a centralized email marketing list and start
That's the key.
communicating with
Okay.
them step one.
Okay, that's the
what I
question
would
I was
do.
going to ask you, or that's what I was, I think that is also, that's part of the issue is like these different target, creating these
Don't,
segmented.
yeah,
Don't do it.
just stop, see, and so right away you start going to all, or what system, go to MailerLite. They're all of the email systems, they're all the same. Just go to MailerLite, upload all of your emails, pick a basic email template with your logo, and just send one email that just says, I'm excited to start, like write them a nice first newsletter. That's it. Just keep it simple and just start. If I had to pick a word for myself for 2025, that would be it. It would be simple. Online marketing, online business has become very complicated, and it does not have to be. Know your niche, all the stuff, all the funnels, all the blah, blah, blah. Like, it does not have to be that. It just does not have to be that. It can be very simple. Talk to your customer. Okay, start there.
Okay.
Happy to help you do that if you want to connect deeper.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amy, hello. It's so good to see you.
Hi, Amber. How are ya?
I'm so good. I'm great.
That's good. I am for my business doing readings and energy healing for both animals, animal communication, and people. I've finally picked a launching date, so I'm in the process of setting up the infrastructure still, business, incorporation and stuff like that, but thinking about launching in January. At the same time, I'm looking at taking a full-time day job so that I have finances to support that while I build it. So pretty much anything you got, I'll take.
I like this full-time job, actually. I think you're gonna like it.
Okay.
I know I think it's maybe something that you're feeling like, ugh, I don't really want to, but I actually think you're going to enjoy the work of it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised is the first thing that comes to me. Like I don't know what, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think the work's going to come very naturally, very easy. I feel like, the pay is going to be quite good. And it feels like almost immediately either they offer you either more compensation that it almost like doubles immediately. Like there's a different position that opens or a different contractor role, or like almost immediately, like you're like, holy shit. And I almost hear you go, God, Amber is so good. Like Amber was so good. Like I'm dead serious. Like that's almost like you're like, you're going to email me and be like, you have got to be kidding me. Like there's something about like this position, this role, like almost immediately leads to something else, or it gives really great compensation, which gives you financing for some other things, like for website, other things. I can feel going full time is the goal for 2025. I feel that.
20 going full-time for the day job's an accounting job. So doing that
Going-
full-time or the,
No, going full time in your spiritual business.
okay, all right.
I can feel for you, like that's what you want, right? Like that feels like your goal, to be able to be full time in your business.
It would be nice. Yeah.
I don't know if this will, it feels a little ways out, but it does feel to me like the month of September feels like a really powerful time for you. So I hope that doesn't deter you, frustrate you, that it might take that long. But September feels monumental for you with the business.
Should I defer the launch date?
No.
Okay.
No, I just think that it might be then that it's like maybe sustainable, or you're full time, or you don't have to have the job anymore, that kind of thing. I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
more it than anything.
Okay. Yeah, the job.
I also feel travel.
Oh, okay.
Like I would say, I don't know if you're like Tulum, anything about that for you? Like a
Interesting.
retreat. I get the image of like the Tulum pyramid, anything about that, or the energy of that.
Oh, I was thinking about Egypt the other day, just randomly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Chris, bringing us home.
Hi, Miss Amber. It's the first time with you. I did listen to your previous, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
I did listen to your last, it was like 2 weeks ago, like just a free thing, and I really connected with you. So basically, I have about 2 or 3 questions, and I've been a medium psychic, oh gosh, 37 years,
Oh
part-time,
my goodness.
full-time.
You should be teaching us.
Done the talks. I've taught high school, gifted and talented. I've done all kinds of classes and courses. When right before a pandemic, I stopped traveling and just focused on online readings, and that's what I do. In Colorado, where I'm at, we had a company that really kind of set the wages here for very low. Then I traveled around, and I was called the cheap psychic, doing just $40 for 20 minutes, and that was considered outrageous in Colorado. I came back, raised my prices. I still had issues with not anybody wanting to see me unless they went to the fairs. I'm pretty much tired of the fairs. And I'm doing just the basic readings. I'm only at about 150 an hour, and I work at a little store in like a little metaphysical store in Denver. And they have 2 Fridays a month that they do the cheap, what they call fair prices for like $45 for a half hour. So I'm kind of have people that just gravitate towards when they can get me cheap. And I'm ready to create this package program and switch from just readings to package programs of coaching, because I have put 15 to 20 people into the fairs. They come to me and say, I want you to mentor me. But I really haven't done a lot of mentoring other than kind of throwing them in the fairs, getting them hooked up with different places. But I do have this natural gift of channeling, and that's what I do. But it's not always a one and done with people. I have close to 2,000 people on my email, but all of a sudden I don't have the I have not gotten really good with technology, and I know I need to get out of the dinosaur age and get it going. My daughter's on TikTok. I don't really connect with TikTok. Facebook, I was told not to go to, guided wise by my, I work with all kinds of angels. I'm considered the angel lady. However, I'm just trying to figure out how to set up the division between the reading and the coaching and try and get these package programs going. At the same time, this last year, I'm one of 9 kids and I moved back into caretaking with my parents. So my full-time business has kind of gone part-time. So I juggle a lot. I'm really good at what I do. And I do offer little discounts. And I'm tired of doing discounts, tired of doing trades. I just want to find a good person that I'm praying for that will take over my website because it's hooked with this lady of control. I've so outgrown these things, but I love every single person you have talked to and the gifts that you've given them. So I've taken, I want to say 10 pages of notes already. I love it all. So if you have it, but if I could have little bits, words of wisdom, because I know I'm good. I know I can charge more. And the first thing was nice to at least 200 an hour and 100 a half hour and change old and bring in the new. I mean, we got a 9 year and a snake's Chinese year. What the heck? We got to let go of the old.
So I think the first thing is you set the rate.
Right.
And you're receiving what you're tolerating,
Right.
I personally would never, ever, I would rather give readings out of gratitude out of my heart than ever like go to a fair or a store and be paid, like $40 an hour or something,
Excuse me.
I personally believe that psychics and mediums we should be the highest paid profession on this planet. I get very passionate about this. If you've ever heard me.
How do I switch into all of a sudden all these people I've done readings for to just free readings? Do I just kick it off this year? I give complimentary free readings to offer my program. I don't know how to do that transition.
So, do you have a program? Number one.
I basically have you call me for a reading. I do readings and I do text readings and then I do in-person readings.
Okay. So before you would ever I have complimentary sessions that then would lead to, yes, I have a program, I have packages. Yes. So that's why I have complimentary sessions. If you don't have something that is high ticket that would lead to that, you would not have that as a complimentary service. Definitely not.
Right. See, I don't know how to get it into that. And I'd like to, because sometimes I just give a little more to the people because I'm in the middle of a channeling or they're in the middle of crying or I'm holding space for them or bringing in a loved one. I do all. Yeah.
So if what you also have to remember is that when that's also probably why you're burning out, why you're exhausted, why you're tired, because you're not energetically receiving.
Right. I understand.
You're financially depleted and energetically exhausted because you're getting $40 a pop. I mean, this is a lose-lose situation for you, Chris. You have got to draw the line in the sand at that. So you've got multiple situations here. So the first thing is that you just, number one, have to raise your prices. So you've got to stop charging $40, whatever it is you have to stop.
I just need to quit this. And not do. Now, when I do this one little fair that's way down in Pueblo, I love doing my little 20-minute readings and I'll easily make $500 to $600 in one day. And there are people, they just come back. A lot of times it's the same thing.
Perfect. It sounds like you like it. So then I would say that's fine.
I do that one and then the one way up in Loveland. So I do 2 fairs. I'm getting down to 2 fairs a month and I love them. And if I just do one day, I make my booth.
But then drop the store.
Yes.
Drop the store. Okay.
Drop the store.
So now you have that. So drop the store. Now, with your email list, how often are you emailing them?
It was probably seasonal. probably once every 3 months.
Okay, so now what I would do if I were you is I would try to start getting into the habit of increasing that to once every 2 weeks. And instead of just trying to sell them a reading, I would try to start giving them a message, sharing something inspiring with them, telling them a story about a reading you did, telling them about a channeled message you had from spirit, giving them
That was my idea.
inspiration,
You're
giving
You're reading my mind because I need to do that. I don't have somebody no longer to run my website. I don't have my emails grouped together. When I did do a few offers where I limit it to 2 weeks and the first 20 people, and I pop it in like you're 10 and 10. So I have had a few of those coming around, and I just did one in November. And I got my 22 people and 2 trades, and it was good. And I paid off my car problem. Yeah, my car repair. But I like that idea of every 2 weeks, give a message, or a channeled message, or a message. I use cards, angel cards.
And then what you could say at the end of it is, here's a link if you want to book a reading. Then I would have it go to your calendar for somebody to book a reading.
I don't have a calendar. It's not on my website. I need somebody to redo my website.
Then I would make that a priority.
Okay, that's what I have. Number 1 is to try and get somebody and get that. Do you have a suggestion for a good website? I'm on Word.
Erin is right here. Erin, can you put your link? Erin is my assistant. She's fantastic.
Oh, great.
Going to do it quick, fast, doesn't matter where your website is. She's been with me for 10 years. I trust her.
Can I have her name and number? Okay, goodness. I got to see if I can get that written down. Okay, it just already left. It was up and now it's gone. So I don't know if I can get it up on the chats. Did you put it on the chats? Good.
Look at us. We're just
Yes.
taking care of you left and right, Chris.
Yes. And it's just Erin. Okay. Let me see if I can get it. Emerald Support Services. Okay, great. And then I will .com. Then I will get a hold of Erin and see if she's able to assist me. I guess that was. Oops.
I guarantee you she'll be able to assist you.
Oh, I would.
And then make it very easy from those emails for people to click and book a reading with you, pay you, schedule with you.
Because I do between 10 and 15 sessions per week. Usually I have my ebbs and my flows, and Christmas is usually an ebb versus a flow. However, it doesn't mean how to say it. I always get things taken care of. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but I am burnout. So you've answered those things. And I know I have to raise my price, but going from 150 to 200 is what I'm feeling per hour.
Charge $150 an hour.
Yes, that's on my regular rates, just not at the fair or not at the store. And I do
go to 150 to $150 to $200 an hour.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I do 100 for a half hour. But how do I bridge into doing the complimentary readings, or bridge into?
Don't do complimentary readings until you have a program, a long-term, like if you're wanting to get into psychic life coaching, where you're like working with somebody like 3 months or longer, and it's, probably $1,000, $1,500 or more. When you have an experience, a program like that, that's when you're doing complimentary sessions. That don't worry about that yet. Let's focus on raising your rate, dropping the store, and getting your website up. Get those things done. Get those things done first.
Okay. Stop store and website. Okay, got that. I can, if I quit the store, I might still be able to go back to them. That's my one place that I was doing and setting up just like an angel reading, but I could set up complimentary, like gallery,
I would not go back to the store.
but you not go back. Okay, because I feel like, I mean, they had 3 stores, one quit. I pulled back in because I don't have a place to do in-person readings. I can't do them at the house. That's a hard thing for me because I'm used to doing that, but just keep it as phone readings only. And if they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't.
Or Zoom, like I'm doing here.
Okay, because that's, but I need to get, I need to get Zoom going then because I don't have it. I do Facebook and I do like FaceTime and I do Messenger for my,
Invest in Zoom. It's worth it.
yeah. So I do those two, but Zoom would be worth it. Okay, then set up. Okay. Well, I do have a passion for helping others, but I really undercharged myself when I did do the mentoring because I just lowered the price and I,
With 37 years, yeah, you should not,
I know.
yeah.
I know it's me, it's working through my self-esteem. It's been, I'm good. And at the same time, I traveled and I was charging and I loved when I traveled and charged more. I mean,
Yeah.
so it was good, but I understand that burnout. Thank you so much. And I want
Oh,
to,
you're
oh,
so welcome.
you sound exactly like one of my good friends named Ginger.
Oh,
And her uncle was the one that started and was in the movie Mr. Grinch. Okay. So I just,
funny.
and she does her own herbal essence products and stuff. And we always meet at the fair. So if I go to the fair, it's just meeting the people, doing a few readings and called fun. That's what I do them for. To do those emails, like what you said before, that's what it was down to the last couple of years. So thanks. Anyway, I
You're
appreciate
so welcome.
you
You
so much.
are so welcome.
Okay.
And thanks everybody for being here today. I know we kind of went for a while, but I'm so happy that we were able to. And see you guys next time, hopefully. And happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays.
cheers to a fabulous 2025.
Amber, when is next time? I just want to know when we can get with you again.
Thank you for that. I will send out an email. I don't have an actual date yet. So I will
Okay.
but but thanks, Maya. I will be sending out some emails.
Thanks,
appreciate-
Amber.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Erin.
There we go.